So the Pirates made their move. They made it yesterday. They were aggressive, I think, in acquiring Marlon Byrd, John Buck from the Mets. They picked them up for one good prospect, Dilson Herrera, and there will be another good prospect going in the other direction. This was very much a prospects for veterans trade. You could probably guess that the Mets would have had more of a financial component in it had they not wanted prospects, but the Mets rightly went after the Pirates' younger players and got a couple of them. Nice deal potentially for both sides. Are the Pirates done? Don't let last night sway you when you think about this. Last night was a weird game, and Pirates by all rights should have won that game. The way they kept battling back, the way they knocked Kyle Loesch around. The Pirates win that game 9 times out of 10. Brian Morris is struggling a little bit. Jeff Locke has some questions to answer. That's one that you kind of throw out to some extent. Don't let that one sway your thinking. Should the Pirates be done? Saturday is the deadline. Is the waiver trade deadline. It's the last day that you can make trades and still have guys on your postseason roster. Should they get another bat? Word is that they're talking to Justin Morneau. We talked about him a lot last week on the show. Should they try to get another arm? Either as a starter, as a long guy, as a bullpen guy. This is the season. I don't think anybody can doubt that at this point. This is the season. This is the one that you've been waiting for. They've been smart. They haven't thrown out all their prospects going for it. But should they go for more? Let's take a call here from Steve in Omaha. Steve, what's going on?
No, they should not, Dejan.
Why is that?
And I'll tell you, what? When you asked that question on Twitter, I thought about it for a little bit and didn't have an opinion. And then I was reminded of 2 words about why I hate these late-season deals. Steve Buechele. You bring somebody in with all this hype, and that's the missing piece. That's the guy that's going to do it. And I remember standing there thinking, man, this is the year. 1990 didn't make it, but the World Series 91 is going to be our year because we finally got that bat that was missing last year. It usually gets people hyped up. They're ready to go. They want to be even more excited. I say you just go with what you already have on the field. It's winning. It's working. Why get overhyped about somebody who may or may not even pan out in the Pirates uniform?
You show up here and you drop a Steve Buechele on this show and think you're just going to get away with it like that.
I haven't even thought of the name Steve Buechele.
It's illogical.
The day he was sent packing. I think he
if you're going to throw a Buechele on me, I'm going to drop a Derek Lee on you. The guy came in here. He hit .337. He was terrific. You were thinking of Derek Bell. Derek Lee, 2 years ago, was terrific.
Yeah.
.337, hit for power, hit to the opposite field. The rest of the team was falling apart around him, but you got another bat. He was a first baseman who came in and made a difference. Did you like him?
I did like him.
All right. Now, who was playing first base?
Taste in my mouth. As soon as you asked that question, that's what popped into my head. I mean, that didn't work out with Derek Lee anyway. I mean, as far as the season went.
He came in and hit.
I wouldn't blame the player, but he just didn't have the feeling you have this year. And I don't know that an extra bat or extra arm gets you anything more than, more hype that may or may not be needed for the team.
Well, be that as it may, I appreciate the call, Steve. The Pirates right now have a first base combination or platoon, if you will, of Garrett Jones and Gabby Sanchez. And you tell me if that's what you want to take into the playoffs. That's all I'm asking. Marlon Byrd can't play first base. John Buck can't play first base. Call me at 412-320-7925. I'm going to give you that number again. It's 412-320-7925. Dylan in Greensburg, you're on.
I was just looking for your point of view on where do you think we should put Marlon Byrd, being that we already have. I mean, with Starling Marte being out, maybe he could play left, but I feel like Presley's doing a good job in right and Kacha's holding up in center.
Well, at PNC Park, Dylan, you really only have one place to put him, and that's right field. Now, Marlon Byrd is a good enough, versatile outfielder that he actually can be and has been a backup center fielder in the majors. But at PNC Park, you don't want people learning left field on the fly. That's the reason that the Pirates have had Starling Marte over there. That's the reason they have Jose Tabata, who's also capable of backing up in center field, in left field. That's the way you're going to see this shape out. The question is, the odd man out is absolutely going to be Tabata. And he knows that. Now, Clint Hurdle said yesterday, because Tabata has been playing so well, hitting so well lately, that he'd like to keep him involved. But that's not going to be easy to do once Bird is out there on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I appreciate the call, Dylan. You know, when you look at the Pirates going back to first base, that is a position, the position really, that you most want offensive production and power from. One way of looking at that is saying, and I've been doing this for weeks now, Garrett Jones is just bound to come out of this. I mean, his history has been that he's never dragged along for this length of time. He just hasn't. And you go back to last season when he hit the 27 home runs, really started to put things together for himself on a consistency basis. He even hit lefties on occasion, which he's never done. And you keep thinking, man, this is the year. He's going to do it. The other night he's out in San Francisco, and he hits the ball out into McCovey Cove, and you're thinking, man, maybe that's it. I was actually more encouraged in that series when I saw him hitting a line drive to the opposite field. That's been a slump breaker for him in the past. Is that what you do? Is that the priority that you take going into these last 5 weeks? Do you go with a platoon of Jones and Sanchez over there, knowing that you've solidified your outfield, knowing that you've basically taken right field away from Jones and really Tabata? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a tough call. I'll tell you one thing. I would not be going after pitching. I really wouldn't. I think there are plenty enough answers in the system right now. We're still not looking at Brandon Compton, although I understand he's getting close to his innings limit. Chris Johnson, don't forget about him. Guy came up here and pitched in that super long game, the 16-inning game. Was outstanding. He's going to be a guy who's going to come up in September. He's going to be able to get you some long innings. He might even be able to start. That might be the guy that you look at in lieu of Jeff Locke. I think the answers are there, even if Brian Morris and Locke continue to struggle from the pitching standpoint. Offensively, I don't know. I'm with a couple of these callers. It's a struggle for me, too. I'd really not want to see the Pirates give up some ace prospects for Morneau. Not when you're taking on potentially $3 million. To me, that should actually be an equitable trade for the Twins. The Twins want to move him. The Twins think he's not going to be there next year. You're taking $3 million off their hands. They're a million miles out of the race. That should be a good enough deal. If the Twins are going to play crazy hardball with you, I wouldn't do that. But, man, it'd be nice to have him, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to be able to add a bat like that.